I'm gonna start off with this one, the nature.
Yeah.
Young nigga drippin'.
How you doing, blunties? What's going on? Welcome back. This is the Blunt of Reality. I am Dessalines with
It's your boy Pharaoh.
you already know. We're gonna get straight to it, man. This episode we're gonna be talking about a recent event that happened. It was of course another shooting in America. Main shooter in Maine. This guy he went on a rampage, man. It was out in Lewiston, and the Fox News wrote that the U.S. Army reservist Robert Card, who killed 18 people at a bowling alley and bar, may have intentionally targeted individuals at those locations. I mean, America has had several shootings over the last few years, and you know it's a very sensitive subject.
It is.
Some people have people who get shot because of gang violence. Then there are just senseless violences. Then there are stuff that have to do with racism. But this specific one, it's just weird, man. It's just weird that there are still just people who just want to go out and do these rampage things. I don't know what's in their mind, but there was another shooting recently. It happened, I believe it was within this year or the last couple of years, where there was another random shooting. This guy, but significantly, not to say that any life is worth more than the next, but there was an individual who was working on a patent.
Yeah.
To basically power engines through water.
Yeah.
That there's been, people who've made inventions like that over the last few years, but of course they're shut down, quote unquote, by who, quote unquote. But this was strange because this guy was one of the people, and someone speculate, it was just another random shooting, right?
Yeah.
But then you have conspiracy theories like us, who take into consideration the seriousness of shootings, but also understand that there might be other things. There are, I think we were talking about it earlier. There are people who say they hear, like before they do any type of killings or whatever, they said they heard voices.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get deep.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty interesting. You know why I think it's interesting is because there's a common denominator with a lot of these so-called mass shooters. That they like you said, they hear voices in their heads. And remember that article that I sent you? It was an article in 2019 about how they use, what is this shit called? They use like microwave auditory effects, like fray effects. Basically, they use these this technology that uses sound waves to basically
manipulate oxygen and water in the air.
Yeah, and basically have people have thoughts in their heads and shit like that.
There was another scientist. It was a person who worked on some government projects who was talking about that too online. Another whistleblower who was talking about machines they call the voice of God, by which I think we talked about it before, where you have technology that can literally put voices into your head, whether it be your own voice or another voice, but they can beam it from anywhere in the planet into your head. And this technology has been around since the 90s.
It's interesting though because this article was in. I got finally pulled the article up, right?
Yeah.
It was in 2008, and they call it Whisper Laser Tech sends audible message to specific people. Now this is 2019, and the first known cases, I may be incorrect, the first known cases were like the 1960s. Where MK Ultra, there was a thing called MK Ultra where they would use individuals and basically use them to for target hits and shit like that.
Right.
But they would use the way that they would use these individuals. They would use like certain drugs, like you said, audio frequencies and shit like this. And
you can't just manipulate someone. You need to know the chemistry of that human being. It's
like an equation.
Yeah, you're in today's society, mankind, you as a person, whoever you are, you listening, you are an equation that can be hacked. All I need to do is, hey, what's their diet? What do they listen to? What are the vibrations they come into contact on a daily basis? Then from that, if I have the technology, I can pump things into your head where you think it's you, but you're actually being manipulated.
It's kind of like a fingerprint. Like everyone has their own.
Exactly.
Right, it's crazy.
And not to get off subject, but we're talking about multiple things throughout history, right?
Don't get close. Don't get.
I'm not gonna go too far.
Not yet.
But there are multiple instances throughout history where people are like, "Yo, why did that person do that? Why did that person do that?" And now we have companies who have literally patented online, the technology to pump commercials into your mind at night. Now, this didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? What else have they been doing with this type of technology? If you're capable of literally going into anybody's mind, saying whatever, manipulating or whatever, there's I think you sent me a list. There's a list of multiple people, not saying that all murderers, they'll say the devil made me do it. You understand what I'm saying? That's scary, man. Because if it's not the devil, and it's actually someone who's doing just an experiment, wow, I really got that motherfucker to kill that motherfucker.
Word.
Hit! That's crazy.
That is.
Let's see what else we can do. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get away with it because it's too impossible to fathom someone would actually be able to do that.
And it's like, this is MIT. This is a research done by MIT. Now, we're not talking about if government agencies were doing this. This is just a fucking, this is just what? That's a school, right? That's a university, right? MIT is a university.
Yeah, but they also do, they have respectable scientists who actually do research. At all colleges, they have, it's a scientific community where they are funded, like schools, what they do with certain scientists, whether they have classes or not, they fund these scientists to do experiments and on whatever subject that they want to do. And it's repetitive. They share their information with other universities around the country. That's how we get these consensus. That's how we get these outcomes. But there's also certain technology that is not public, that they don't allow. And if some scientist in the college does come up with some crazy shit, who comes in to be like, let's not make this public.
Yeah, this is
let's not
national security.
Yeah, this is a national security problem here. So come over here. We're going to put you in a black box. You're going to work until you die and keep it secret or we'll kill you. That's it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's scary. And it could be very offensive when you bring up these type of conspiracy theories when it's surrounding people who recently died. Right?
Yeah.
Because then they're like, yo, stop playing around. Whatever. It's not about playing around. It's about connecting the dots.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be speculated, but at the same time, if there was a possibility that some nefarious top money governmental facility is experimenting on you, which they have done before.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You're on the cusp of, is this happening? That's worth the research. That's worth being like, yo, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Now, taking that into consideration, right? Aaron Salters. He created the engine that basically ran on water.
Yeah.
Now, some might say because he was singled out. He wasn't singled out, but it was in a mall, wasn't it? It was in a mall that he was killed by the killer, but also there was a few other individuals who were killed. Some might speculate that it was a hit. And also unfortunately the killer said that voices made him do it. So, I mean, I would speculate that maybe it was a hit and big corporations probably were behind it and wanted to take him out because, come on, this is big business right here. This is big money right here that we're dealing with.
It's something that is so nefarious, it's ridiculous. But it's so ridiculous that
it could be probably true.
Exactly. like there's you're talking about experimentations. You're talking about, hey, you know what? We can't have that right now. Put that to the side. Like we don't know the lengths that any trillionaire company would go to stop something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it has to do with something globally, because you got wars being fought over oil right now.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a potential.
That would shake the marketplace.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Economies would crash.
Exactly.
So it's like economies are going. They're using this kind of equation, and the equation, the base form of the equation is, like you said, oil, natural resources. If you switch it to a resource that is not yet up to date in a sense where it's like, okay, they're using this form, and then you just basically jump it into some futuristic way of technology in a sense, right?
Yeah.
That would shake the marketplace, man. So it's like I'm gonna use this for an example, right? You've got drug dealers, right? And you go on this block and you try to stop their money. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna go for it. So I would speculate, or I would lean towards the fact that maybe that it's possibly true.
You mentioned something that had to do with natural resources. I wanted to comment on that. Currently, right now, Congo is currently going through a silent holocaust. Millions of people are being killed so that the Western world can continue to benefit from its natural resources. So what's going on is you have countries like Congo has this mineral called coltan. It's a critical mineral needed for electronic devices, aerospace, and the innovation of technology. So when you have places like that with that type of natural resource and all of that, there are outside sources that will fund wars just to have access to that. And they'll fund wars secretly, not only secretly, but in ways where if me and you, accuse them publicly, they're like, oh no, that wasn't us. It's through some third party or whatever it may be. And then they can also blame whatever violence that come out of that on others who's just easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Puppet master. So you're talking about puppet masters that are not only capable of manipulating wars, but also manipulating people. That's scary. Because it's a new form of war. You understand what I'm saying? Now, for the average person, how do you gain away from that? I would say you exercise the body, you exercise the mind. You're capable of meditation because, like, even with they're talking about. I heard voices. The voices made me do it. Like they were probably easy targets, right? Maybe they're closed off. They don't have anybody to talk to.
Mentally on edge, probably taking certain psychiatric medicines.
Yeah. It's a possibility. Right? It's all under speculation, but I would assume that would be the best way to do it, man. Because you exercise your body, stay informed. You know what I mean? And if you having like thoughts like that, talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, a real one, and just to stay mindful of the things around you, man.
I think there was an article that basically was saying that the gunman in Maine, he actually were telling people that he was gonna go do a hit or something like that, and he worked. I think he was in the U.S. Army, and they basically knew like everything that was going on with him. They took his guns, but he was able to also, as a civilian, still go and purchase a gun. So it's kind of hard to track some of these individuals because there's so many people who suffer from mental health issues.
Right.
So it's just like, how do you know if this person is really capable? I would speculate that someone that's in the military would be highly more likely to commit some heinous crimes like that because one, they already been through
depending, but yes,
they've been through certain things like that. So I think it would be easier for them to just turn the switch off and go kill somebody. You feel me? Versus someone who'd never done something like that. So I think, and also they're more strategic. They've been taught to think in a certain way that normal civilians wouldn't be able to think like.
I get your point. I'm going to disagree slightly.
Go ahead. I love when you play devil's advocate.
I'm going to disagree with that because, as much respect as I have for people in the military, they have a certain level of discipline that the average person doesn't have.
Okay, true, true.
So now, when it comes to mental health issues, yes, it is true that if they did go through some shit, that they could keep going through some shit on their own, and usually if they don't have anybody around them that can act, that they're talking to, because they have support groups where military people are capable of talking to each other. But if they're just trying to thug it out, which what most men do or most people do, they thug it out. Like, yeah, I'll handle it myself. They fall into these places. So I'm saying you're right, but at the same time, like, yo, they're not the most. I don't think they're the most likely to do something like that because they fight for the country. They have a certain level of discipline, and what I mean, they're fighting with. Usually, when people go to war, they're fighting with people next to them. Like, they have another sense of camaraderie when it comes to not only the American public but their peers and stuff like that. So, but I get what you're saying at the same time, but coming back to the conspiracy of it, are they easier to manipulate? Are they easier to manipulate? Meaning, like you said, they've been through war. Not only that, the military has access to their very files.
True. They know what makes them tick.
Exactly. So, and we don't know what kind of military experiments may have been done to them before they were released into the public. Whether it be mind control, whether it be some type of program that we don't even know about, a whole bunch of secret shit. You know what I'm saying? So to that extent, yes, they're easier to manipulate. But are they more likely to do it because of their experience? I think it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
You feel me?
You know what else was interesting, right? I don't know if you've heard of this man called Moses West. He's out in Flint, Michigan. This is actually a little unrelated to the topic.
I remember. I know what you're talking about.
But we're kind of like on the topic, so I'm gonna just scratch the surface just a little bit. So Moses West, he created this machine he called the Green Machine that basically takes water, because Flint, Michigan had that
water problem,
that water crisis where they were drinking that polluted water and shit like that. I think
their mayor or governor was actually tried for criminality,
but so he created this Green Machine where it makes clean, drinkable water out of thin air. Obviously, I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know the technical shit that comes with it.
I mean, there's condensation around it.
Yeah. So, you know what I was thinking? I was like, what if, right, in some alternate universe, because this is a conspiracy podcast, that they merged two technologies, right, and they created a vehicle that can run off of, instead of actually getting water that's available, getting the water that's already in the air, because obviously H2O, right, like you mentioned, and used it to somehow create a vehicle.
There's a sniper bullet on your head. There's a little light right there.
They create a vehicle that somehow is able to operate out of thin air.
Bro, there's a red light right there.
I mean, chill. This is obviously for entertainment
purposes only. You about to have me start sweating.
Nah, but this is honestly, this is some scary shit, like sometimes, I think, look at my fucking hair, I didn't get my shit done yet. I've been fucking going crazy thinking about this shit. But I sit here and think, what if, man, that would be so interesting, right?
I mean, I'm gonna say something that's so fucked up, yo. The world is not ruled by good guys, man.
It's not. The evil people run the world.
We got all of these superhero movies and shit. People fighting crime. Batman fucking niggas up. But in reality, yo,
he ain't fucking the regular. He's not. He fucking up street level.
Yeah, like niggas
Joker and shit like that.
Sell crack to
right.
Support their family. He coming there like, fuck your family, nigga. You going to jail.
Fucking traumatic.
Nah, but you have in real talk. Who's at the very top, they're not good people, man.
And you don't see Batman fighting those guys. He's not fighting the corporation. That's why we have unemployment, man. Yo, shout out to unemployment. Shout out to unemployment, man. Yo, go check our last video. Bro, shit was fire. The Halloween special. You feel me?
That shit was fire.
That shit was lit.
Make sure y'all check that out.
Check it out, yo.
Yo, real talk. What I'm trying to say is they're not good people, man. Like, they're not thinking of these things.
Yeah.
Because the world is run a certain way. That's it. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
Money is the only object. Like when you're talking about what's going on right now around the world, you got wars going on right now, bro. Wars going on everywhere. I'm like, yo, y'all niggas don't know that we have the technology to not even have to worry about this shit anymore.
And on top of that, I feel like they create these superheroes so that it can comfort the low level or the small people into thinking an outside source is going to be the one to save them versus
then they see the new politician
versus
who lies
an
to them.
inside source, like versus, because we have the power to change everything,
Right.
but if you ultimately give that power to a fucking superhero like Batman or Superman, then you ultimately looking for a savior. So it's like that savior complex where we feel like, okay, someone eventually is going to save us, which ultimately puts us in this relaxed state where we're like, someday, maybe someday somebody's gonna come save us.
That's why these leadership positions are created, right? These leadership positions are created, right, to have the average person who's not in that leadership position, who's voting for them, or just looking at them on their pedestal and saying, yo, I hope they do something to change. There's always that little slither of hope that allows the, civilization to move on, because they're like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. Now, some countries around the world have went against their leaders, have went against their governments, but usually it's because of some outside source who's influencing them. But as far as America, we're perfect, right? Like, we're perfect. What do we have to complain about? A lot of people go, yeah, the unemployment is a lot of stuff. But the average person would be like, I have my job. I know that what's messed up is going on over there is messed up, but I mean, they're looking out for us. Hey, did you see when they got us the vaccine where everybody was dying? That's the mentality of the average person, if that makes any sense.
And it's crazy because in the Constitution, I'm not even gonna get into like everything the Constitution says, but I'm just gonna say a few words. It says, "We, the people of the United States," which means that we, the people, ultimately have the power. You feel me? The power is in the people's hand. We're not going to just talk to you guys about things that are going to probably make you sad, put you in a low frequency. No, we're uplifting you guys and letting you guys know, reminding you that the Constitution stands for something. The American Constitution stands for something. We the people. You feel me? We the people. Don't forget that. We the people.
I like that.
Okay?
Yeah. I like that. Let's end it on that positive note, bro.
We the people.
We the people. I like that. I like that. I think I'm going to, I never really even thought about it like that, yo. We the people. The power is in the people. That would be a good slogan for a new politician, man. Whoever wants to come up. Understand that the power goes into the people.
Yep.
Well, think about it. No matter what's going on as far as the United States is concerned, because I love this country. I'm sure you do too.
I love this country.
Power is in the people, not the politicians who lie to you, not the government who lies to you, but the people who are capable of doing critical thinking. All right? So.
Don't end it yet, though.
Okay.
I also wanted to mention, if you guys want to get a part 2, because we wanted to talk to you guys about MK Ultra, get really deep into it, dissect it, and also look up the Manchurian Candidate. When I tell you, guys, this is next level shit. This is things that are probably going to be thought provoking, and it's going to just get you on the edge of your seat and actually make you think like, okay, is this possible? Is this still going on? Because if you put in, if you just think about it just for a little bit, right? Is this possible? Are these hits being carried out by people who are under some form of mind control? That would be something that we would dissect for you guys, because we know some of you guys are busy. You got kids. Us, we love this shit. We love to read and dissect these things. So when you guys don't have the time to
learn everything about
Dessalines and Pharaoh are pleased to do the work for you. Of course. Come to us. We will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will dissect these things for you. That's why we ask you guys to go into the comment section and talk to us. Come on. Don't be afraid. Come talk to us. Look, I know he looks like he's a crazy man, but I'm telling you right now, he's soft at heart. He talks about a lot of evil geniuses. He's a genius, but he's not evil. He uses his genius for good. Yes. Trust me.
Yes, that's a fact.
I'm the crazy one. No,
you definitely are the crazy one.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah, that's a good way out. Because we definitely have to do a part 2.
Yeah, I actually want to.
There's so many places that we go dive deep into with this. You know what I mean, but as far as for right now,
we the people.
Make sure you like, subscribe to Blunt of Reality. We will be seeing you. I've been
asking you guys. You right there. Yes, I know you're talking to you. I've been asking you.
Come on.
I know you hear me.
I've
been posting every day.
You hear him?
Yes.
He's scary. Don't make him mad.
All right, y'all. That's the Blunt of Reality.
You got it.